Hey everybody, I'm actually reading a lot of Duck comics right now. I will make a video about them eventually, but here's something that I've noticed. I think that Disney is trying to revamp Uncle Scrooge. He's becoming much less greedy, which you might know is the defining trait of his character. It's weird because I actually talked to my mom, she used to read Duck comics, and I asked her, well, what do you think about Uncle Scrooge? And she said, well, we hated Uncle Scrooge, he was an asshole. And if you've watched DuckTales 2017, you probably noticed that there is something that changed nowadays. If you actually pick up the stories you read, he really is kind of a villain sometimes, and he really is a major source of problem. You know that in one story, he didn't want to spend money on airplane tickets, so he made his entire family walk with him for like 3 weeks and to the place that they wanted to go, and yeah, man, that doesn't sound like a good person. But I actually saw people playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to repair this stall for free because I know how important that is. And I'm like, motherfucker, that's Uncle Scrooge. Would he do that? Would he do something for free because it's very important? In the old comics, he did do stuff out of his heart, but it was sometimes, and he actually kept a secret about it because he had his image to preserve. It's and it's really sad in a way because this character isn't like some public domain character from some folklore that you can do whatever you want. He was a character that was created by a person, that was Karl Barks. And this character was created to be a specific kind of person. And I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about billionaires in media nowadays, Like, Batman is an old one. People always criticize him, like, oh, because he could spend all his money, reforming Gotham. But do people say that about Iron Man? Because I haven't seen anyone do this. And it's not because I'm a Batman fan and I'm more inserted in Batman circles. It's actually more common to hear this in normie circles. People that don't understand comics and don't understand what Batman does for the city. And maybe Iron Man wasn't as famous as Batman, but now he is. I mean, it's been probably more than a decade since the first Iron Man movie came out, and we just don't hear anyone say this. Like, oh, because he should use his money to reform shit. If you are a comics fan and I'm saying anything wrong, feel free to point out in the comments. This series is just me trying to spark a discussion. I don't necessarily need to be right. But I'm not imagining things, right? I just feel like there's this trend coming up that we don't criticize billionaires anymore the way that we used to. And it's weird, DuckTales 2017 still criticizes billionaires, kinda. There is a guy that is a billionaire, and also another guy, but it feels like it criticizes them on like moral grounds, like, oh, because this person is like an asshole, or this person lies. But you can't have a billionaire as a moral person, simply because they are adventurous and they think outside the box. It's weird, did we used to do this in the 90s when Mr. Burns came out? Was there any millionaire in The Simpsons who was adventurous? I think Mr. Burns was the only one, and he was explicitly rich because he was evil, because he had a lot of cost-cutting measures and shit. I don't know, man, I don't really have a lot of coherent thoughts on this, but it makes me worry because in the olden days when the actual Scrooge came out, it was the Industrial Revolution, the rich guys were merciless exploiting the English people, but you couldn't still criticize them, But nowadays every billionaire needs to be some kind of adventurous fellow, someone that thinks outside the box, and you can't really criticize them like that. How did motherfucker Scrooge McDuck survive through the entirety of the Cold War as an asshole billionaire that exploits other people, but now he needs to be revamped? Like, I don't know, man. This doesn't make any sense. Am I seeing things where it doesn't exist? Because I do see Elon Musk as being like, oh, he's being mercilessly criticized on Twitter for doing all the shit he's doing. It feels like the criticism towards him isn't that he's necessarily a bad person that exploits emerald mine, just that he wasn't willing to live up to his potential as a billionaire explorer. But I am really afraid that this is becoming like a trend, because we see all these people, it's not even a meritocratic level, like they worked hard, therefore they earned their fortune. It's just they went further than we went, except that they were already rich. There's the whole emerald mine thing with Elon Musk. So therefore they were able to afford to take more risks than us. It's just, I don't know, man. I think it's bleak, very bleak, that this is the state that pop culture is in. Can we criticize rich people the way we used to? I don't know, man. I don't know. Did you notice this? What do you think about the subject? Please write it down in the comments so we can have a discussion. And thank you for watching this video. See you next time.